So I have been having an interesting morning. There's a woman who I used to be in somewhat frequent communications with, and eventually decided that the interactions were not healthy, and so I blocked her on Facebook and social media. And I got a notification through my Hug Nation page this morning that I was tagged, and so I looked at the notification, and it was this woman had written a poem, prose note that at first I'm like, I'm so vain, I think this song is about me. And then I saw the comment below that said, I wrote this for John Halcyon Stin, creator and founder of Hug Nation, a campaign that I loved and supported for years. I never miss an episode, and flooded the man with likes, shares, and adoring comments. I bought several copies of his books, went to his events, and had him sign them so I could share them with friends. Years later, when I asked for a little support on my work, I was shut down and called crazy. That's when I realized what these people are truly about, themselves. It's okay, I'm getting that a lot from the burner community lately, and realizing that I just need to break ties. I was hoping to unite us, but they are not interested. They think they are gods and they just want to party. It's heartbreaking. Can you please forward this to Halcyon for me? Mention some names. I wrote this a while back for him and he really should read it. He has got me blocked. Thanks. So I read it. I'll read it to you. I wish I would have listened to the woman that urged me to research chemtrails. She seemed a little frantic about it. She scared me. She said we were breathing in toxins and I ignored her. She said it was a clandestine and genocidal operation. I called her crazy. She sent me many links about it in case I had any questions. She told me everything I needed to know that no one else told me. She warned me of the various ways we were being poisoned through the food, air, water, and vaccines. I thought she was all over the place. She urged me to help her confront the protection agencies. I didn't have time. I'm just going to pause in the middle of this. So I'm now reading her poem that is written from my perspective, if I'm understanding it. So I'm reading this first person, but she wrote it about me. Okay? Back. She posted so much about this stuff that I had to hide her and eventually block her. She messaged me, warning me about Fukushima, and she was concerned for me on the beach. I thanked her for the information and shrugged her off politely. She confronted me again and asked me to support her, even just a like now and then. She was persistent and very concerned, like she thought together we could save the world. I told her it wasn't my thing and to leave me alone. She cared. She still cares. I deleted and blocked her on Facebook. Our years and years of messages were still there. My heart was shattered. I wish I would have listened. Now I am finding friends around me dying from all the things she warned me about. I see the chemtrails overhead and feel the dryness in my throat. A few of my friends' kids have autism, and I am seeing it more and more. Everyone is dying from cancer and many other diseases. Some days my lungs hurt so bad it's hard to breathe. And now she tells me they're planning to store tons of radioactive waste on the eroding bluffs right here within miles of my home. Maybe I should pay attention. So, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? So, one of the reasons, I don't know where to start in this. Okay, so I unblocked her and I sent her a note. And I said, you are all about fear. I am all about love. You think your path will lead to a better world. I think my path will lead to a better world. I hope both of us help the world to be better. I hope you and I can live in harmony and enough mutual respect to leave each other alone. And I wasn't going to talk about this publicly, but I just watched a broadcast by Zachary. And he was talking about how he's been listening to all these perspectives on YouTube and other places of alternate opinions. And he was like, I don't even want to mention their names because I don't agree with so much of what they say, but it's been helpful to digest all these other perspectives. And And what I kept trying to articulate to this person who was so absolute in their perspectives is that I don't agree with everything that you're saying. I don't necessarily think I'm not going to fight against you, but I'm not going to fight for you. And I live in a world where there are places where we need to be at peace while we disagree. And so if I don't believe in Pizzagate, that doesn't mean that I support the molestation of children. Or if I believe that I am against strict gun control, that doesn't mean I believe children should die. I actually am for gun control, but I in the recent dialogue, I understand that there's rational belief on all sides. And so it's the reason why I blocked this person and will block her again is the amount of energy it takes to remain in contact with someone that demands their truth to be the only truth, and the only place that you can occupy other than their truth is in idiocy or cruelty or being a part of the problem. And if I am required to constantly defend myself, that is just too much energy. If we can say, hey, we agree to disagree, great, then we can be at peace and we can move forward. And you can earn my respect to the point that I could listen to you deeper and deeper and deeper and maybe change my mind. I do it all the time. But if you're constantly making me feel like I have to defend myself, or you have zero, if you're asking for my feedback and you will have to give zero listening to what I say, then there's too many places in the world that you can make positive impact to spend all this energy in a black hole. And so, and it's interesting for me to see the things that this person says that draw me back in. Like, a common thing for me, if I have no problem with someone telling me that I'm a jerk or a narcissist or an asshole or a faggot or whatever you want to do to attack me. I don't resonate with any of those things. So I'm doing the best I can and I fail a lot, and so be the human experience. But when people, there's this like workaround to get me to care that she's really good at, which is saying, I had all this respect for you. I thought you had so much potential. I really believed in your heart. And now I realize that you're just such a fraud. I'm like, and it's funny, over the years, that is the script that gets me to go, what? Oh, did I? Now I want to show you that I am a good person. It's kind of like, it's like negging, like the pickup artist thing. You tell a girl, I don't want you, and suddenly the pretty girl's like, but wait, no, I want you to want me. And I fall into that same trap of, wait, no, I want you to think that I'm a good person. If you don't think I'm a good person, if or you think I'm a jerk or a closed-minded or a narcissist, or I expect that. But if you first say you like me and then pull it away, then I feel like you heard me? You really heard me? Oh, crap. And one of the things that is tough in this whole scenario, like in this list of things that this woman was making a point of, the challenges with our environment, the dangers to our nation's health, and I'm not saying all of these things are wrong, or I'm not saying no, there's nothing wrong in the world, but some of the things that she argues about, I don't have the same opinion on. I don't believe that vaccines are a cause of massive concern. I think that sugar, processed food, and obesity and food-related illnesses are something that are a concern. I'm not going to attack a parent that feeds their kid according to the ways that they think they should be fed, but I will entertain this dialogue and listen to all sides. I'm less willing, because I've already put in a certain amount of energy into the dialogue about vaccines, to not want to put energy into the conversation. If you believe, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of pediatricians are so money hungry that they are poisoning children in the world. I don't know how to get into a close enough perspective that we can hear each other. So I just prefer to say, let's agree to disagree. I'm not going to have a vaccine debate with anybody. But if you're going to demand that I accept your vaccine fight and are going to get angry at me if I won't like and promote your anti-vaccine cause, well, then I don't have space for you in the world that I'm living in. There's too many things. There's too much going on. And the thing that I keep coming back to, and I hate this, like I said, this, I got sucked into being defensive about this. If you list off everything that sucks and that's going wrong in the world, and then like start patting yourself on the back for being, for helping, like, how does that help? It's nothing wrong. I mean, yes, we need reporters, we need journalists, we need access to information. That's important. Finding extreme news sources, collecting them and amplifying them does not solve any problems. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Show me how, reposting articles about nuclear waste is stopping it from, being dumped on the beaches. That being said, there are some people that I've seen in my feed who have been, what's her name? Anyway, some people, my friends that I've seen going out into the streets, like interviewing people about the nuclear waste and like really trying to lift people's awareness and putting links to places where you can submit comments to lawmakers. I mean, this is activism. I agree that I'm not against activism. I'm not against taking a stand and fighting for it. I'm against yelling about shit because you hate it. If you are motivated from your anger to a place of action, yay! If your anger spirals you into this place of self-poisoning and anger, I mean, I'm no longer listening to this person because it is only darkness and anger and fear. Their reply to me was like, clearly you're the one that just fears the truth. And I was like, that's why we're not friends anymore. If you don't see that this list of everything that's wrong is a fear-based worldview, and I'm not saying you should never have a fear-based worldview. There's a lot of motivation that can come from a fear-based attitude. It can get you off the couch. It can get you into the streets. It can get you calling your lawmakers. And from I've seen from her post, she is doing elements of activism. But I think it's more of spreading the word, spreading this information of the New World Order, and to take a 100,000 million mile view towards that. I'm not so sure that the objective as a human being, I'm so sure, I'm almost positive that the objective of a human being, human consciousness, in a single round of human consciousness, our objective is not to rid the world of evil thoughts, of betrayal, of poison, of all that's wrong in the world. Otherwise, it'd be pretty daunting. I think that all this world that's filled with all sorts of terrible things, and also countless miraculous, amazing things, but I think this fertile world with joy and sorrow and betrayal and disease and miracles, all of this is simply the kindergarten playground with all sorts of like bright and shiny things to help us to learn, to help us to be confronted, help us to be challenged and stretch us. And so if you went into a kindergarten and were like, this puzzle's too hard. This puzzle's too hard. The corners on this puzzle are too sharp. Look, this jungle gym, the swing is way too dangerous. But someone could hit their head over here. It's like, Yeah. The purpose of a kindergarten playground is not to avoid all danger for children. It's to create a place where people can grow and learn and get stronger and build their abilities. Whether that be spirit, and now the metaphor I'm blending. I hope you're following me here. But we are in our playground. We are here to be stretching our divine perceptions of connection and our relationships and our work through our issues and find a way to love our enemies and such. And a fear-based panic about all that's wrong in the world is not my purpose in this world. So, this is what I've in very calm and I thought respectful ways. A couple of years ago when I first blocked this person, that was what I was trying to express. Is like, hey, if your war is fighting for everyone to know, that 9/11 is an inside job, that vaccines are poison, that the chemtrails are affecting us, and all these things. Like, if that is your war, then God bless you, or dog bless you, or whatever. But you have to understand that's not my war. I am called to a path that is more love focused. And I believe, this is my faith, because there is no absolute. And if you believe that you have an absolute, then you are in that realm of people that I have a hard time listening to. But the understanding that I have that is most clear to me is that aligning myself with kindness and compassion and becoming more in line with the interconnectedness of all things and living from that place will help me to be more of an instrument of the divine, and also create ripples that create a more far-reaching healing of the planet, as other people either say, oh, that makes sense, I will do that too, or, oh, he did that, now I'm going to do this, and we support each other as this rippling of positive, love-based actions heals the world. That's my faith. Now, does that mean I never want to hear anything that's going wrong? No, I definitely try to be open to the evil, the disaster, the deceit, the manipulation, the oppression in the world. But I know that if I lived in that place too deeply, too darkly, too long, I cannot get out of bed to be of service to the world in the way that I believe that I'm supposed to be. So I try to explain that, hey, thank you for fighting your fight of the darkness. I am more focused on spreading light, and I have figured out a way for myself that I can fight the darkness from a place of spreading light. I can hug dirty, smelly homeless people and laugh and smile and feed and clothe them from a place that makes me feel good, not from a place of being like, we're so fucked, everyone's fucked, it's so sad, it's so good. Some people like to be in that place. Maybe like's the wrong word, but they're empowered and strengthened from that place of being like, anger is a gift, to quote, who was that? Rage Against the Machine? Anger is a powerful motivating tool. It's not the one that serves me at this stage in my life. And if you demand me be angry to justify where you're coming from and to feel like we're in alignment as brothers and sisters on this planet, then I have to say, no thank you, you're blocked, your good is elsewhere, go to it. So, this has been an interesting morning. And it's tough, in some ways I feel like that's such a failure. Like, how can I be open to people and open-hearted? How can you love my neighbor but also block them? And I guess the reality is that's simple. You can love someone and still put them in prison because that's the safest thing for them and the world. You can love someone and refuse to listen to them. So I have not mentioned this person by name. I think that's the most respectful thing to do, rather than give them because I have not spoken of them in the most glowing manner. But if you would like to more information on the causes that she is talking about, send me a private message and I will connect you so that you can have access to all the links and all the information and all the perspectives that she has. Maybe I think that's the right way to do it. But I'm always open to suggestions as long as it comes from a place of dialogue and not attack. Thank you for this opportunity to dialogue. Ooh, shake it off. Whew. I love you. Thank you. And since there's some people here, if you're in here and you've got anything on your mind, let's do a little round of AMA, Ask Me Anything, if there's something that's that you got stirring around in your noggin. Tracy's saying, you are loving and respecting your temple, which is allowing you to gift all of us who want to spread joy. Radically selfish, says Jenna. You know, I'm glad you said that, because, you know, for many years I have thought about and focused on the idea of a self-centered worldview. My site used to be called cockybastard.com. You know, I've faced accusations of narcissism for the last 20 years but this is not from a place of ignorance and selfishness. I believe that my experience of human consciousness in this world is one where I am connected to all things, but the entity, the biological and conscious piece of the one that I have the most influence and control on is this body. And so the way I can be most of service to the one is by protecting and enhancing and keeping this cell healthy. Is that selfish? Is each cell in my body that is doing its job selfish? Or is it a team player that's doing its part? Now, if I demand everybody else to do what I'm doing, that's cancerous and problematic. But to honor the temple that is me, to honor the life gift that is mine, to honor the opportunities and the relationships, the perspectives, the sensations that this body gets to experience, that this consciousness gets to experience, I think selfish is a slanted and wrong word. It is a form of worship to the oneness, to honor, respect, and exalt the things that I have influence on. Yes, I am very self-centered. I'm also house-centered and community-centered, and I'm Burning Man-centered. I think of those things, those are way more important to me in the sense of how I spend my energy than things that are outside of my world. It's all a balance. Like I don't go, oh, I'm hungry, therefore I'm going to bash this person in the head and take their food. No, because I also am connected to them. But I have a more intimate connection to this organic collection of cells. So radically selfish, yes, but also as a form of worship, I believe. Relating like you do is appreciated. Well, thank you, John. I was my friend, my lover, my partner. I'm working on the wording that I refer to people that I'm connected with, because I'm exploring different types of relationship definitions. In fact, I have a new category at my Patreon at $3, which is I'm sharing my intimacy journal, where I'm sharing kind of the insights that I'm having and the challenges of this poly lifestyle. And had an insight yesterday as one of my partners expressed how different being called a lover felt to them versus being called a partner. So one of my partners pointed out that they wanted to make videos that was very aggressively, this is the way it is. And they pointed out that when I make videos, I'm very, well, I don't know. This is kind of how I see it, but it could be like this, and I don't know about that, and maybe it's sometimes like this, and I could change my mind, and maybe you're right. And it was an interesting thing to hear back because, yeah. And one of the reasons why I do that, I think, is because I think that is, it's not the best way to sell a seminar or teach, a technique or something like that. But as far as a perspective of relating to the world, having humility and having the awareness of your own limitations is the antidote for that selfishness we're talking about. Yes, I am absolutely self-centered because this is the experience that I'm having. But I also know how limited that perspective is. So I embrace it wholeheartedly while having a healthy bit of skepticism and knowledge of my own ignorance, so that I make room for all these other experiences of divinity to influence me in positive ways. I don't know if I'm going to make any more sense than that. So maybe we'll draw this to a close. All right. Sam saying, if humans evolved from monkeys, then why is there gravity? Checkmate! Oh, Sam, that is a really good point. What people don't realize is that if you check the fossil records, monkeys used to, the reason why they have prehensile tails is so that they can hook onto a tree to keep them from floating off the planet, because there didn't used to be gravity. It was only when gravity was introduced 2,000 years ago, it was introduced as part of the Romans' ability to do crucifixions, because before there was gravity, they would nail people to crosses simply so they didn't float away. And it was the gravity that made Jesus and all the other crucified people, it was the gravity that ended up creating the resurrection story, etc., etc. So I hope that answers your question. Make sure you click the thing so you get notified of my live stuff, and check me out on Patreon. I'm doing a bunch more stuff there now. Patreon.com/Halcyon. I love you. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe and tell your friends and love yourself and give yourself a hug and marvel at the universe and like and subscribe and thank you.